Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. For those of you who went to commit your code, hopefully you're recovering. We are so back. And I know a lot of people have been messaging me like, oh my God, I'm so excited that you got Mark on the show. So I'm excited that Mark's on the show. We got a lot of people tuning in this morning, which I expected. Mark, let's get the people what they want, man. Who are you? And we'll go from there.
So my name is Mark. I am an engineer. I'm a dad. I'm a musician. I'm creative. I love photography and videography. I love playing guitar, playing music. That's one of my big passions. And I've been writing code and working on tech for over 20 years at this point. And I'm just really happy to be here. I work at Google right now, which has been the best experience I've had in my career so far. I've learned a ton. I'll tell you, get into a job that stretches you because you will be surprised at how much you can learn if you allow yourself to grow in a job that stretches you. And I think Google has been that for me over the last not 5.5, but like 5
That's
years.
crazy. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. One of the things I want to talk about today, and again, if you have questions, please ask them. But Mark, I kind of want to go into your AI talk that you gave at Commit Your Code. This, we were chatting backstage briefly, same kind of similar talk that you gave at Epic WebConf that I emceed. So I just want let's start with this, man. What's your talk titled, and give me kind of the thesis of the talk to set the stage about what we're going to talk about.
I have 2 talks that I've been giving recently. One a keynote length, and then one's a little shorter length. Both of them about, the series or the idea is like AI for the people. And what I mean, the engineers out here, in the engineering community, because I feel like right now there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt around careers and development, around how to use AI. Code generation has taken on a mind of its own, and a lot of people are just like, is it even worth it to still be an engineer these days? Is it even worth it? Did I just spend the last 8 months grinding after my full-time job, grinding at night on 100 devs, or grinding at night, doing a free code camp for nothing? Did I take this boot camp for nothing? Did I my studying for nothing? Right. And so this AI for the people, AI for everyone else, this idea is that these talks are to dispel some of the fear the best that I can with, my educated guess about what's going to happen next, and then giving people a practical roadmap as to what I would do. And this is the way I'm framing it. It's what I would do if I were starting today, or if I were
which I love these conversations, because I think so I was golfing the day before Commit Your Code with my buddy who's a CTO in Dallas. It's starting to become a tradition, me going down and golfing with some tech folks, and we filmed it. It's like a podcast style while we're golfing. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to release it. But I asked him, I was like, what do devs do now? And I think this is great, kind of dovetail into this conversation. So Mark, let's talk about it. What would you do? Is junior dev, is it even a thing anymore? What do people learn? Is AI the biggest boogie scary, man, as we're making it out to be?
I think it's one of the biggest advancements in technology that I've seen in my lifetime, and that most of us have seen in our lifetime. I think what it's capable of at the current state, we don't know the future state. We don't know when we're going to max out, when compute will just not give us anything else. We don't know. We don't know that yet. But in terms of what it can do now, I like to frame it not about is it scary so much about what can I do that I couldn't do before?
Yeah.
Right? What tools do you have available to you now to build the things that you could never have built to serve the customers that you couldn't reach? So when you start to reframe it around that, it's like, oh, wait, there's more, because I think we have to get over ourselves, meaning engineers have to get over ourselves, because for the last, 40, 50 years of engineering, our greatest value has been how much code we can type on the keyboard.
Correct.
That is no longer going to be your greatest value add. Right? Your technical skills will still be valuable, so don't get that conflated. Your technical skills will still be valuable, but how fast you can type code will not be as valuable as it was before, because now we just have tools. So, this is a flawed example, but it's a kind of fair analogy. For a long time, we were using a screwdriver, to screw in, screw.
Yeah, I'm not a big tool guy. My wife does all the tool stuff in our household. I do the laundry, but keep going. Yeah, I do know what a screwdriver is, so that's good.
Good. I'm glad you know that. Then we got power drills. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: to know when you use which is still valuable. Still, we get more and more like special tooling all the time. But to
Yeah.
know what to do, when to do it is the value add. But the idea that I know when to use what is like the magic. And I know what's right and what's wrong. You as a developer, friends who are watching, you knowing what's right and what's wrong is everything. It's everything, because the solutions that maybe generated code may produce may not be accurate.
Yeah.
And we know as the industry that there is a bit of hallucination in code generation. In any LLM output, there's the probability that creates some hallucinations. But you
Right.
knowing what's right and what's wrong is still valuable.
I love it. So what do people do, right? Like, I don't know. Again, there's nothing wrong with some hot takes this morning. Like, our boot camp's gonna still be a thing. As somebody who's a non-developer,
Yeah.
I feel like I can go learn everything. I can just type in, hey, I am a junior dev wanting to transition to the tech industry. I need a curriculum to help scale up my back end skills. Enter, and ChatGPT is going to write something up. Is like, where is that aspect of things right now?
Oh, good question. So should you just use like models to curate all your education? You know, here's the funny thing. You've already been able to do that long before ChatGPT. So back in the heydays of tech Twitter, before it got, weird and then all fractured now, people posted every week, here's my game plan for learning how to be a junior engineer or breaking into tech. They posted every week these long threads. So you always had that ability. It has always been whether or not you want to follow through.
Sure.
It's always been that, and that has not changed. Even with the advent, we just have easier access to information, but our ability as humans to follow through, that has not changed, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is still the, like, we can click, just like when I look at vibe coding tools, like you as a non-developer, Taylor, like you can go and say, I want to create the torque.dev platform, and here are things that I want. You can still do that, but that doesn't mean that that's going to replace torque.dev. Like, somebody can try to copy you, but there is more to the story than just the code and stuff. And it always has been that way. We're still the magic, regardless of how many of our things get automated.
Yep, absolutely. So Tehran comes in. So now it's about understanding system design and architecture.
Think about it like this. The fundamentals cannot go away. You still, so again, if you're going to be an engineer, fundamentals can't go away, because again, what has in the chat, just for fun, in the chat, have you been trying to generate code with any of the models and then it couldn't fix something or do something, and you prompted yourself into a corner where it still wouldn't work? I know this happened to me where I'm like, I'll do it myself. You know what I mean? Put my gloves on, like, I'll do it myself. Because that is still a possibility. And me knowing what to do is still valuable. So it's yes and, Ron. Like in this case, yes and. System architecture design and the fundamentals matter. But system design is everything, because now think about this value add. You're a junior developer, you get a ticket, you thinking of and understanding about what the architecture should look like increases your effectiveness with the tools you have available to you.
Okay, so my question is, so I feel like there's a push-pull here, right? You say fundamentals aren't gone. I want to touch on fundamentals here in a second.
Sure.
But the things you're talking about from a non-technical guy like myself seems to be more mid-senior level stuff. So how can juniors, and not even juniors, this question, not even junior, how can mids, how can seniors get the understanding of system design and architecture if that's the differentiator?
Okay, so you talked about hot takes, right?
Yeah. Hey, we need full of them this morning. I love it.
This is a hot take.
I love it.
What you used to do as a junior, the bar has been raised.
Bar has been raised.
That's just it. Think about it across all industries where AI has had an impact. Generative AI. Let's be super clear. Let's be super specific with our language. Where generative AI has an impact, the bar is just raised, because the things that we used to do and take for granted, like, oh, I need to make this spreadsheet of all these numbers. All those things can be done now. I can select a CSV file full of numbers and say, convert this into a spreadsheet, make, the last column, this, that, and the other. So like, that's not the value add anymore. Knowing which columns you need is the value add. You see, so even with this, as a junior, your ability to just like type code on the screen, center divs, that's not interesting anymore. Knowing that a div needs to be centered is more interesting now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's get practical here. Let's say if young Mark was coming out of college or boot camp or just trying to career transition, how would you structure your learnings, your search differently in today's world?
Oh, totally. One, I will position myself as an AI enabled or empowered engineer. That's how. First is positioning. 100%.
Like positioning, like what you put on LinkedIn or what you post about or all
When I
that
talk to
stuff.
people, when I talk to people about myself, like
Okay.
let's say you're interviewing me, I would say, hey, I'm Mark. I'm fresh out of college. Listen, I've learned all of my like fundamentals, data structures, algorithms, and I've been focusing on design, architecture, and I've been learning how to use all the tools available to me, like these AI tools. I've been learning how to use those to get better and more effective output. So I spent time using things like Gemini CLI to check my work, for example. You see what I'm saying? So I will start telling a story about how I'm using AI with my work, not to replace my work, because I want to let people know what it can do for me, not what it can do instead of me or in my place.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah.
I know what to do because, again, like you said, the blocking, attacking those fundamentals. I think that maybe in 10 years, you don't need to know fundamentals, right? Maybe in 10 years, the kids coming out of college, you know, that that's like assembly language to them. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
only at like prompting and
Sure.
driven development in 10 years. I'm saying right now, people watching this looking to get a job. I'm saying your fundamentals still matter because guess what? One, not every company will allow you to use an LLM to work. That's number one,
Yep.
right? And then
Yep.
two, what happens when the LLM is unavailable? What happens when you max out your tokens for the day? That happens.
Can't be maxing out tokens. I'm just kidding. All right. So let me ask you this then. When we say AI engineer, for the most part, we're talking about prompt engineering, right? Or generative AI.
Okay. So the AI engineer term, that for me is super loaded and super conflated. That's why I said
Correct.
an AI
To me, I'm like that.
empowered
No,
engineer.
you're not an AI engineer. You just know how to like ask questions well.
Right, which is super valuable. That was one of my roadmap points for the community. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate to get what you want out of like your model of choice. Now, AI is so broad and so big. And one of the points that I made, Taylor, in the talk was it is confounding to me that like, I don't know if that's the right word, but it is just like it blows my mind that all we do with generative AI right now is generate code.
Yeah.
Like that's wild to me. And that we
Yeah.
think the whole of AI as a broader community is the code that we generate. Like nobody's, like why aren't, okay, if I was one of our friends watching who's looking for something, I would be learning how to use the Gemini API in my app, in the app to do something novel, to do something interesting. So computer vision, for example, that is a part of AI.
Sure.
Where is your computer vision app? That's interesting. And Taylor, you cannot tell me that if somebody that you were in the twerk community came to you and showed you a computer vision app that they made that you would be like, wow, this is impressive. Let's get this person in front of some people because they're thinking in a different way. You see
So I've been on that vein lately. So I kind of get on like different themes and trends in my talks. So I interviewed Sunil at Cloudflare, and I was like, if Sunil was like, I want you to come into an interview, like, hey, I don't like. He goes, that's how I got a job at Cloudflare. He was like, I went to them and said, I don't like how you're doing this. Here's how I would do it. And he goes, I got the interview. In our conversation together on Guidance Counselor 2.0, I go, if somebody built some sort of AI tool leveraging Cloudflare and part of your business, and again, I don't know the business, but I was like, if they did that, would you look at them and get them an interview? He goes, absolutely.
Yes.
So could you say that AI could help you become a more effective interviewer because it would allow you to spin up a lot of use cases that you could present to clients throughout your interview that you probably would not have been able to have time to hard code every single one?
Yes. 100%, especially if you are using AI as a feature and not just to generate the code.
Correct.
It's a yes and that's the part that I can't. I'm really trying to like preach to the mountaintop about this yes and thing. So the demo that I showed was like, okay, so you got a chatbot. I hate chatbots, but I was just showing like the reason people hate chatbots because they don't have any power, right? Like that's why, because you talk to a chatbot just to get to a human. But I made a chatbot that could like get items from the cart based on like human description, like I want to make a smoothie. And then they was arguing with me. And I was like, fine, a fruit smoothie. Then they found all the fruit and then added only the fruit to the cart. That I don't want to write the code to do that. Having a model be a part of my app that can do that is very interesting.
Yeah.
That's AI power. So like think about AI powered applications. That's really
I like
interesting right now.
I like that.
AI-powered applications. And you can use AI to generate the AI-powered application, but be thinking bigger. That's what I'm trying to get people in mind. Think bigger because we have the tools to do things that we never could do.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's like the thought of having to program stuff hard coded before AI for interviews, trying to find a job, networking, like it would have been too much, right? Now I use something called, was it Base 44 or whatever, some AI prompt thing to create a website.
Sure.
To me, I literally, I'm the most non-developer there probably is in this type of opportunity, in this type of ecosystem I'm in. But I was able to make a portfolio site, like make a website for me. And for me, it's like, oh my gosh, like that's when it really clicked. I was like, now developers could actually move faster because everything I think about is interview and job search. Now somebody can go in, work on a project, implementing some sort of AI tool or AI feature. And I like that empowers a product way faster now than ever before to make you stand out.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Another question. I mean, I'm getting all the questions. So if you have questions, ask. Here we go. David. So AI is your co-pilot, not your rival or competitor. All right. I'm going to say this, Mark, while you think. I'm going to say this. AI has a marketing problem. Let me explain this. Everybody wants to put blame on something. We as humans want to blame something in general. And when it comes to AI, people are equating AI with taking jobs because it's hard to find a job. AI is not making it hard to find a job. The overhiring that occurred for 2 years from 2021 to 2022 is the reason why you still can't find a job, because hundreds of thousands of engineers were all hired within 1 to 2 years, and companies are paying the price still. To be honest with you, we probably won't see that fully fleshed out for another few years. So stop blaming AI.
Yeah. There are some people who see it as a competitor or rival. I feel like as long as we, as the engineering community that exists now, do not shape the narrative ourselves, then the people who are pushing that false narrative will win. Like the reason I'm talking about AI so much, and I'm not just like, oh, look at all the flaws of AI, is because I can't have a voice in this fight if I'm not in it. So I need to use the tools. I need to understand the tools so that way I can make compelling arguments to help protect this industry. I mean, like, I know that sounds like a grandiose idea, but I'm just saying, like, I can have conversations like this because I have it. Let me show you something. Hold on. This is how I'm thinking. This is a book that I'm reading, Generative AI System Design Interview, right? Not because I'm looking for another job, but because I want to know what the people are thinking about and how to be in front of the curve. Now, this isn't an advertisement for the book. This is just more validation of like, you are not alone in this. We're all trying to figure out.
Everybody's in this shit together.
Yes, we're in it together. 100%.
Everybody. Do you think AI is overhyped on tech Twitter than how it actually is in real life?
Yes, it is overhyped. I think that, like I said, there are lots of people who are very loud right now. Now, when I say overhyped, I just mean the doom and gloom story of like developers being replaced by AI like agents. Like that doom and gloom story I think is overhyped. But I think like Taylor just said, we are early, but this is the time to get your footing in place to position yourself for success. Like learn the tools, learn how this stuff works.
All right, Mark, anything else? I got some rapid fire here. Right now, Mark, what's one tech tool, app, phone, mobile, web, whatever you can't live without right now?
Gemini CLI.
There you go. A little shameless plug. First job you ever got paid for?
Artist. I was an artist.
No way.
Yeah, and I was making art. Yeah, I can draw. Awesome. Not as well as I used to, but I used to be able to draw.
That's really cool. So actually, like drawing artist.
Yeah.
I love that. What was your watercolors, chalk? Like what was kind of your?
Yeah, so I loved color pencil and marker for like, because I used to do comics a lot, and then for my sculptures, well, of course I do like clay and paint, and then I would use like quartz and stuff and different like stones to decorate, my pieces and stuff. Yeah,
nice. That's awesome. When you were young, baby Mark.
Yeah,
maybe not baby, but young Mark. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Architect. I wanted to build houses so I could. So I could build my mother a house because we grew up in a small apartment.
I love that.
I want to build my mother a house, and so I want to be an architect for that reason.
That's awesome. I love that. Man, I love you so much. What's a career mistake you're oddly grateful for?
I think I'm oddly grateful for getting fired from my first job.
Really? Why?
Because and at that position, I was kind of like, I won't say manipulated, but just kind of influenced and brainwashed into thinking that was the best that I could do. And I
Yeah.
was really underpaid there.
Yeah.
And I was overworked and underpaid. And that I just drank the Kool-Aid believing that I was at the best company I could be at. I had no idea what was ahead of me because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. If I told you tomorrow that you had to wake up and not do tech anymore, what hobby would you pursue? I'm assuming I probably know the answer to this, but
Yeah, I would be a full-time entertainer. So I host a game show. I would probably pursue that, to be
yeah,
honest, full-time. Yeah.
you're hilarious, dude. You're
Thank
hilarious.
you.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I always watch the clips. All right, last question. And again, for those of you tuning in, thank you so much. If this episode resonated with you, please share it. We kind of this was probably one of the better episodes I've had in a very long time. So if this resonated with you, please share it to your network. I think a lot of people can get a lot of good stuff from this. So the last question, Mark, as always, show's called Guidance Counselor 2.0 because
Yeah.
we had guidance counselors in middle school, high school, and college, but now as adults, we don't really have them. What would be your biggest piece of career advice if you could go back and tell young Mark something?
You can learn from anybody if you let yourself learn.
I love that. That's awesome. Love it. All right, y'all. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all so much. Y'all have a good one. Peace.